Now, the latest episode of How to Win the World Cup is now available. You're listening, Emmanuel. Comedians Matt Ford and Alex Brooker speak to French World Cup winner Emanuel Petit, who reveals that he had a premonition before the tournament that the French could win the final at home against Brazil.
Some time ago, I said France would organize the World Cup in 1998, and then France will win the World Cup 2-0 against Brazil in final. When I said that, 10 years before that, in the press, people were looking at me, this guy is crazy.
So what, you'd said that?
Yeah.
You saw it coming?
We call that a premonition, right?
But you had a genuine premonition of it?
Yeah.
How, what, vivid?
Yeah.
Clear in your mind?
Even now, when I try to explain it, people think, what is he saying? This is the truth, this is reality, and there is a proof, in the newspapers, long time ago, before France was designed to organize the World Cup. So this is the proof that it was not meant after the organization, it was before that.
Okay, any premonitions
it's weird.
today?
I know it's weird, especially nowadays that people believe what they see. Things that we cannot see, we cannot explain it. So I know that because when I was young, I said that in the press when I started, as a professional footballer with Monaco, and I was always, treated as with a kind of weird way, with the medias, because people were thinking this guy is not the same. You put it aside because he's weird. Mm-hmm. I don't care, to be honest with you. I know who I am, and I'm not trying to force people to think differently. But what I said is the truth. And I don't know if it happens to you, premonitions, but it happens to me a couple of times about things, in my private life. And to be honest with you, during the final against Brazil, we were leading the score 2-0, and I had to drop back, as a central defender because Marcel was sent off during that game, and I was marking Ronaldo. And I remember because we still have a couple of minutes to play, and the noises was unbelievable, in the Stade de France in Paris. We couldn't hear each other, on the pitch. The communication was very bad. But I screamed to Frank Leboeuf, my teammates, and so as a central defender, and I said to him, Frank, he looked at me, he said, what? My dream is coming through. We are going to win the World Cup 2-0. And he did, what? I don't understand what he's saying. So I repeat myself, and he said to me, shut up, man, we still have a game to play, we are not far, for the end, you concentrate. So can you imagine that afterwards we conceded the corner, and the counter-attack, the transition afterwards was so quick, so fast. Something in my mind, I don't know why. I was playing central defense. I could stay, in defense, protect the defense. Okay, in 2 minutes, the game is over. We won the World Cup, that's it. But then something, tells me in my mind, you have to follow it. Because Patrick took the ball after Dugarry gave him. I thought to me, this is it. Arsenal, a couple of weeks before that, we won the double, and I said, let's go with Patrick. And he gave me the ball and I score. And then there is this picture, in the Arsenal media's room, on the wall, and I'm very proud about that. Underneath Margaret Thatcher, on the front page, it's. I'm really proud about that, and I'm very proud that Patrick and I we've done that, for the national team, and. Back to the premonition, I don't know if people are listening to that. Maybe some people will recognize themselves, what I'm saying.
You had any premonitions? You always hoped you'd work with me.
If I had, I would have never walked into the news building.
I love it. I want to get back to the World Cup in a second, but you can check out How to Win the World Cup. That podcast is now available on YouTube and via your favourite podcast provider. New episodes are available every week between now and this summer's tournament. Have you got any other premonitions? I mean, ahead of the USA?
Not really, No.
Do you hope? Obviously, you hope the French will win it.
Of course. Yeah.
Will that feeling get stronger the closer you get to the tournament?
I want France to win. Why? Because what's happening in my country, I don't like it at all. And negativity as well, the stress. People are living under so much pressure. And I think football can reunite people. And I know we don't have the power of politics. We cannot change people's lives. we can only inspire, we can only reunite people, and this is why I love football. And this is something I said as well about the English team. I think the passion is so high, about football, but I think the unity behind the national team is not quite well. That's why I think sometimes clubs are more important than the national team, and this is why I think you are struggling, to win something big. You need to have this unity all behind the national team, and it starts from the fans. And surprisingly, this is what I've said about Arsenal fans. So this is something that is missing, I love English football. I love the Premier League. This is for me the best championship in the world. You have such a huge and beautiful players, playing for the national team. But I think there is so many pressure, between the players, and that reminds me the lack of Steven Gerrard, Frank Lampard, John Terry, Michael Owen, such a great players all together, never won anything at all. So unity for me is something that is missing sometimes in national team.
What chance do you give England of winning it?
Well, for England, a very good chance. I think they are among the favorites, to win the title. But it depends on them. As I said about Arsenal with the Premier League, the worst enemy for England is England.
Yeah. You haven't had a premonition about Scotland, have you?
I mean, no. Look what happened, last time England played.
Notice that, folks. Didn't even answer it.
No, but look what happened against when England played against France. They lost 2-1. Remember the last time? England was the best team on the pitch, and you lost because we show much more maturity and unity as well on the pitch. Before
you go today, should we be worried about this over the weekend? You and I have touched on this before, Simon. The German Federation Vice President, Oke Gottlich, has said the time has definitely come to consider a boycott. You know where I'm going with this, Emmanuel. Amidst the situation around Greenland, Trump's immigration policy, the topic of a World Cup boycott has been raised somewhat lightly, but still raised in some areas of Europe. He says, by my reckoning, the potential threat is greater now. We need to have this discussion. Do you fear it, Emmanuel, that this will gather momentum?
It will never happen. I mean, you're thinking about the boycott of the World Cup. It will never happen. Why? Because the players, they don't want it. Because the federation, they don't want it. And nobody wants it. So I understand why politicians sometimes, say things like this. But there is a new sheriff in the town, and the name of it is Donald Trump. Can you imagine the FIFA, under pressure because some federation are saying we're not sending our national team over there? Soon as they do that, I think they will receive a phone call, saying that I will put 25% more taxes on everything you're selling. I mean, that it won't happen at all. It's impossible. We're not living in a dreamland. It's impossible. So I don't believe in that. I'm not buying that.
You were saying to me before the show, I think you said to me, if there was ever going to be a boycott, it would have happened around Qatar.
Of course. I mean, for human rights, for things like this, if federation would have show unity, and boycott the World Cup, that would have been, the case during the World Cup in Qatar. So why all of a sudden it's happening, for the World Cups coming to America? And on top of it, it's 3 countries. It's not only America. So there is Canada and Mexico. So are you going to boycott as well Mexico and Canada? So just be honest and just stop saying, stupid things, in the press because you don't believe in it. You know that you don't have the power. Look at the European countries actually. They are under, the power of Donald Trump. So it doesn't mean anything to say things like this.
And just to be clear, no premonition about Scotland.
Come on.
Great to have you with us. Emanuel Petit is in the building, and we've enjoyed your company for the last 2 hours.
Thank you, guys.
We'll see you again